Wolves of Wind, Book 1, Feathers, Chapter 3. The journey back up the hill was annoying and tiring, but Dawn seemed much better off than Rain did. The two pups lay down and rested upon making it to the top. Rain struggled not to fall asleep, as she had been woken up in the middle of the night to go on this adventure. "Should we go back home now? The sun will probably rise soon, and we don't want Forrest to notice us missing," Rain said, yawning before rising to her paws. Dawn seemed thoughtful for a moment, and Rain felt like her brother didn't exactly want to go back home when the sun hadn't even begun to show yet. But in the end, Dawn said, "All right, but maybe we can explore again tomorrow." Rain yawned again, her eyes heavy. Maybe the day after tomorrow. Rain knew that she needed some sleep, and she had only gotten a few hours of sleep at most tonight. The trip back through the forest was tiring, and Rain had fallen asleep twice. Dawn had woken her up pretty quickly each time, especially that time she had fallen over on top of him. Although technically that meant she had woken herself up, or maybe the acorns she had fallen on were the ones that did that. Rain realized she was trailing off in her thoughts, which is exactly what she did before falling asleep. "Hey, Rain, there's no way we walked this far on the way to the pond, right?" Dawn asked in concern. "Huh? Oh." Rain looked around and noticed some smaller trees, with bigger, flatter leaves and lighter bark scattered among the pines. That didn't seem normal. Rain listened intently to the quiet forest and picked up the sound of faintly flowing water nearby. Maybe a dip in that would wake her up. "I think we should go to that stream. I think it's this way," Rain said, dragging her paws forwards before Dawn could answer. "Wait, Rain, why a stream? We didn't pass one on the way to the pond," he said, chasing after her and slowing to a trot when he caught up. Rain sighed. "Maybe seeing you soak again will make me laugh so hard that I'm more awake," she joked. "But really, I'm super tired, and I don't know, it just feels right, honestly." Dawn looked curiously at her, and Rain felt a bit embarrassed. "Well, okay then, I guess the sun isn't in the sky yet," he said as they both continued walking. The sound of flowing water got closer as the two pups continued walking. Rain and Dawn eventually came to a small stream. On the other side of the stream was a strange, sparser forest. The trees had thicker and greener leaves, and it seemed overall brighter. Rain felt like something was watching her, and looked around, but she didn't see anything in the darkness. Dawn suddenly ran forwards a few steps. "Whoa, look how big that tree is. I bet if we climbed it we could see all the way to camp." Rain hesitated. The tree was very big, but what if they fell? A fall from that height would probably... Rain didn't want to think about it. Dawn laughed. "Are you really scared of a tree? We see trees all day. We've probably seen thousands just tonight." Rain sighed. "I know, but that tree, something seems off about it." "All right, then I'll climb it myself," Dawn said, excitedly rushing forwards and scrabbling his way up the thick bark. Rain rushed forwards to the base of the tree as Dawn leapt to the first branch. "Dawn, stop! It's not safe!" she barked up at her brother. "It's fine. This bark is super easy to grip onto. I won't fall," Dawn yelped down. Somehow Rain doubted that, but she had to admit that Dawn was doing a pretty good job at climbing the tree, especially for a wolf. Maybe she was just worrying too much. That feeling of being watched came over Rain again. She looked around, but everything was still dark, and there was no sign of another wolf. "Rain, I can see the camp," Dawn called down from the tree, interrupting Rain's thoughts. Suddenly, a gust of wind blasted over Rain's head as a mud-covered wolf launched over her head. The silver pup's eyes widened in surprise as the muddy wolf flew up the tree towards Dawn. Their huge wings dripped mud from the sheer speed they were moving. Suddenly, the wolf stopped going up and started flying straight at Dawn. "Hey!" Dawn cried out as the mud-covered wolf snatched Rain's brother in their jaws. "Who are you? Rain!" he cried out from where the wolf had grabbed him. "Dawn!" Rain shrieked in terror as the muddy wolf turned and threw her brother right at the tree. The brown pup yelped as he slammed hard into a tree and began falling. Rain ran around the tree in a blind panic terror. "Dawn, watch out! Earthpack, save us!" She barked into the sky, the forest, and everywhere. Why had she chosen to come here? Why hadn't she stopped Dawn from climbing the tree? Dawn was going to die, and it was all her fault.